Friends, have you ever thought about how a huge passenger plane carrying hundreds of people could completely vanish from the sky as if it never existed? We are now going to delve into a story where the world's most sophisticated technology was completely baffled. This is a story of a mystery that still sends shivers down the spine of the world. Imagine the deep darkness of the night. It was the night of March 8, 2014. There were clouds gathering in the sky, flashes of lightning, and the wind was howling. You were sitting on a Boeing 777 aircraft, which is soaring at an altitude of 30,000 feet, advancing towards Beijing over the South China Sea. Around you are 239 people, children, young adults, the elderly, businessmen, and tourists all eagerly waiting to reach their destinations of dreams. Every heart holds joy and hope. This aircraft was Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370. It took off from Kuala Lumpur International Airport at 12:41 a.m. The flight was under the command of the experienced pilot Captain Zahari Ahmad Shah, who had over 18,000 hours of flying experience under his belt. His co-pilot was Farik Abdul Hamid. Everything was normal, uninterrupted. It was 1:19 a.m. Captain Zahari spoke to air traffic control for the very last time. His final words were so ordinary that no one imagined they would mark the beginning of a terrifying historical mystery. "Good night, Malaysian 370. Immediately after this, the horrifying moment arrived. Suddenly, the small dot that represented MH370 on the radar screen flickered out. A chilling silence descended upon the control room. Air traffic controllers tried repeatedly to call the plane, but received no response. No distress signal, no emergency call, not even a warning. A massive passenger jet, carrying the dreams of 239 people, had seemingly dissolved into the air. Friends, in the 21st century, when satellites and radar are watching every corner, this incident was unbelievable. This was no small matter. The Boeing 777 was one of the largest and most modern aircraft in the world. News of its disappearance immediately caused an uproar across the globe. The families of the passengers began gathering at the airports. The air was heavy with weeping and anguish. They demanded answers, but there was no one who could provide them. To unravel this mystery, the largest search operation in history was launched. Malaysia, China, Australia, and many other nations deployed their military power and technology across the vast expanse of the Indian Ocean. This was an immense challenge. The Indian Ocean is so huge that finding a single aircraft there was like searching for a needle in a haystack. Navies, submarines, and modern drones were utilized.
Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months. But there was no result, no wreckage, no black box, not even a single trace of human remains. How could such a large plane remain missing after so many years of searching? Finally, after a long wait, in 2015, a small clue was found. A part of the plane's wing, known as a flaperon, washed up on the shore of Reunion Island, an island in the Indian Ocean. Experts confirmed that it belonged to MH370, but this fragment only created more questions. If this part of the wing could drift so far with the currents of the Indian Ocean, then where was the main wreckage? The critical black box, or the rest of the aircraft structure? This unsolved mystery gave rise to several theories. Firstly, the hijacking theory. Did some terrorist group seize control of it? But if so, why did they not make any demands? Secondly, was it a secret mission? Some people believe that there might have been some valuable cargo or classified information on the plane, which required the aircraft to be made to disappear to conceal it. But is it possible to hide such a huge plane so skillfully from the world's sight? The most sensational theory revolved around the pilot. The finger of suspicion was pointed at Captain Zahari Ahmad Shah. Evidence was found in his personal flight simulator of practice for certain routes that led towards the remote Indian Ocean. Could Captain Zahari have made this terrifying decision, taking the lives of 239 people for some unknown reason? Even today, 239 lives, their dreams, and their loving families stand facing a question mark. Will the truth of that day ever emerge? Or will the mystery of MH370 remain buried forever in the depths of the Indian Ocean? This story is not just about a plane. 'Tis about those who are still missing. It is a story that tests the limits of technology and human understanding. Friends, what do you think? What is the real reason behind this mystery?